Yeah, welcome back. Well, after I made the bold statement that it wasn't going to rain, we've ended up with about just shy of 30 mil. Or what's that? About an inch of water if you're still running Imperial. Yeah, so it's put a stop to the irrigation. I'm just going to jump in the buggy, and it's got pretty wet over there now. I was over there yesterday morning. We'd had about 18 mil night before last, and then yeah, rain sort of yesterday and last night. So yeah, it was good. So yeah, it's going to help us now. We've got a bit of an idea of what we're doing. We can sort of put a plan into place now and get sowing and that sort of stuff. Whereas before we were, you know, we sort of had a bit of moisture in a couple of farms, but sort of not back where we wanted it. And then yeah, that's why we sort of kept irrigating over on the other block. Excuse me. But yeah, now we'll be able to, this will get a bit of some ryegrass, some barley grass, some few of those weeds that we want to get knocked down early up, and yeah, we'll be able to get cracking. So one of the problems we're going to have is, and I'm going to slip over there now, we probably have, it's going to be too wet. Damned if you do, damned if you don't a bit. But anyway, we'll go and have a look, see what water's lying around. That country's pretty good, it drains pretty well, so I don't think it will hold us up too much. Yeah, we might just have a bit of a shuffle around with what we're going to sow. With Wally air seeders out at the dryland block, we might sow some vetch out there, and yeah, that'll give us sort of a couple of days back here. We can start and sow back here what we haven't irrigated. Yeah, so it's not the end of the world. So anyway, we'll go and have a squiz and see what we can find. Too bad. There's a bit here that you can see over there that's run off these bays, but yeah, it'll get away. Bit of wind and that, and yeah, this was the last bay I opened yesterday morning. We had local footy again, footy and netball yesterday again. So yeah, it's a little bit line on this, but the other bays that haven't been watered are fine, so we can get in and probably get in come middle of next week. What are we, Saturday today? Come middle of next week, we'll get on this kind of, well, I don't know whether we'll get on that, but, or that. Oh, good morning, Jessica. How are you? Good. But yeah, the other dry country, it'll be perfect. We'll get a good kill of weeds on it, hopefully. And yeah, we'll be able to get into it, but we'll just have a bit more of a look around and see what else we've got. But yeah, all this water drains back to a central point, so and we can recycle it later if we need to. But yeah, if the recycle dam was full, we could actually pump it onto and water another bay. Like it wouldn't be the end of the world. Just how dry it was, I think it'd suck it up pretty well. So, but they are talking it's going to get cold next week, so we're sort of losing that evaporation, which is. It's good and it's bad. It's good on the dry country, but when you've just pre-irrigated country, it's probably a little bit of evaporation would help us a bit. But anyway, it's damn sight better this way than the other way, because we can, as I've probably said in the past videos, we can handle it when it's a bit wetter. Yeah, I much prefer it a bit wetter than a bit dry. Anyway, keep looking. Oi, what are you doing? Hello. You were watching on the last one, that's where the channel's blown out, and we've got this water here that's run out. So yeah, there is actually a bit of a drain here. There's a drain here, and it used to run a bit sort of through there. There's a bit more of a drain, and the same thing, it drains back to the sump. So where Jesse is there, what we might actually do is get the backhoe and just dig a bit of a hole, and we'll just stick a pump in there and just drop it into the channel, and hopefully we can get this water to come back here. I'm not too stressed about this. We've got a couple of varieties of canola up our sleeve, so if we don't, this whole block is 125 hectares here we actually sow, or plant, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, we can, and we're intending on planting grazing canola here, so we can either run our own livestock over here, or we can buy some lambs in and trade them. So yeah, what we could do is put a later variety of canola in once this dries out, and it's not ideal, but it still means we're going to get a crop in the ground. And given we've got our own windrower, the windrowing timings will be different. The grazing canola is a lot longer season. Ideally, I would have liked to have had it in the ground, but it just doesn't. It is what it is. So yeah, so we'll get to and get it in next week, and then the following week we work on sowing our main season canolas around the 18th, give or take a few days. 18th up to sort of the 1st of May. You could we've sown it. We've actually sown it in the first week of May in the past. So yeah, so obviously your longer season varieties, the sooner you get them in the ground, the sooner you get them up. But yeah, the grazing canolas they're probably a month longer than our main season stuff. So anyway, it is what it is. We'll work with it, but as I said, it's better this way than not having moisture to get the crop out of the ground in the first place. So, anywho, got a couple of critters here. Come for a look. We've got a little dog that wishes she was a big dog, and a big dog that wishes she was a little dog. Very confused species, I can tell you. Get up. Oh no, get up. Get your big fat bum off the ground. Up, get up, come on. Yeah, good job. Good job. While we're over here, I'll just show you what I keep talking about a feedlot. So this is where see that old building there, that's an old dairy. So we keep referring to this place as the dairy farm or the dairy block. That's why, because there was an old dairy on it. It's pretty dilapidated now. But yeah, this is the area it's sort of an area we can't do anything with. So the plan is we'll build a set of sheep yards over here and set up a feedlot. We've got mains power here, which is good. It gives us a few extra options as far as feed systems and water and that sort of stuff. We can hopefully try and automate stuff. So we do have some I won't say plans because there probably aren't any, but we do have some ideas for over here just to try and, I suppose, get a bit more productivity out of this block. But yeah, you know, if we could, as I've said in the past, if we could trade 4,000 or 5,000 lambs through the year and even finish some of our own lambs, the weather portion, you know, just it value adds a little bit, and it just diversifies a bit more. Yeah, and you could potentially even do a few cattle maybe, or something like that, background a few cattle. So anyway, it's just an idea. We keep talking about it, but we just need to get on and do it. But I just thought while we're here, yeah, I'll just show you. It's been a long time since, well, we've had this place since 2019, and I don't think they've milked cows here for the 4 years prior to that. So it's been a long time since there's been any cows milked here, but it's an old spear point, and there's actually a bore here as well. Just have a look. The bore water's not great here. You could drink it if you were really thirsty, but traditionally the water here is quite saline, or groundwater. We're not that far off the river, but yeah, the water course has obviously changed, but yeah, it really wants a hole digging, and it's been a while, but yeah, I don't know, it gives me the heebie-jeebies being in here. I don't know why. Anyway, but yeah, so I just thought I'd show you that. I'll keep talking about it, so I just thought it needs cleaning up. So yeah, anyway. Hope you can hear me with the wind, but all the water drains back to this recycle dam off the farm, so even the stuff up the front there. Yeah, so it's not the end of the world. Why would you get off? Seriously? Yeah, it's not the end of the world with the runoff because it can come back to this central point and then we can just pump it. We usually just set a pump up over there and it pumps it. We can pump it back into the channel and then use it further on the next block. So yeah, as I said earlier on, I think in the last one or the one before, there's been a lot of money spent here setting this up, rightly or wrongly, because it's done a bit of damage to soil structure and that sort of stuff, just with the laser leveling. Would you two stop it? With the laser leveling and how much dirt they've moved, they've done a bit of damage to the soil structure, and you know it's been done probably 20 years, be longer than that, 25 years, maybe 30 years ago, and yeah, the soil's never really just recovered. So we're sort of trying to get it back up to scratch with gypsum and that sort of stuff, but yeah, once you damage that top soil, it takes a bit of fixing. Anyway, we'll work with it. Yeah, we're just out the back here with the little farmers. Just putting some leak blocks out for the sheep. You alright? Yeah? So what are they, girls? What are we putting out?
They're vitamins for the sheep.
For the sheep?
To help the sheep stay big and strong.
Right. And how many blocks do we need to put out? Alright. We should be putting 6, but we're only putting 4, so we've got enough to spread around. So we thought it was 50, 1 block to 50, but it's actually 3 blocks to the 100. So anyway, that's all right. So they're just it's probably a bit hard to see, but a bit of everything. Magnesium and a bit of molasses, sulfur, calcium, selenium, bit of cobalt. Yeah, just a bit of everything. Just put them out when we're on the green feed and lambing, just to give them yeah, a bit extra if they need something. So anyway, it's a bit of a run this morning. We're not using the trail feeder because it's a bit wet underfoot. There's been 34 mil of rain out the back here. So yeah, anyway, get this done and then we're off out for lunch. You got it? Just putting the last of the leak blocks down. I'll just show you. That's sort of the remains of one. So yeah, they get into them, they lick them a little bit like lollies. A 20 kilo block made up of all the herbs and spices. Anyway, alright, that might do for this one. We'll see you on the next one. Ta-da.